Hi everybody, my name is Ariel and welcome to my channel, Ari the Architect, where I talk about movies, comics, writing, and everything in between. As we all know, the Superman trailer came out a few days ago and I was surfing the net and I came across a live stream that was on Jodys Corner. And he was actually having people call in and giving their reactions to the Superman trailer, and I happened to be one of those callers. And I think we had a pretty lively discussion and a very interesting discussion because I had an opinion and he had an opinion, and I want to get your opinion on what we talked about. So let's watch it together.
There he is. There's Bob Initials. He's calling right now. Qui-Gon. I'm going to go ahead and destroy this motherfucker real quick. I'll holla at you, bro.
So what's so funny about this is that he was trying to get somebody else on the phone.
Bob Initials.
He was trying to get somebody else on the phone. And
where'd he go?
I was trying to get through.
Call back, Bob Initials. Call back.
That's me.
Call back.
And he keeps on hanging up on me. So rude. That's me again.
That's not it.
That's
Call
me.
Back, Bob Initials.
Answer.
Where you at? Come on. No, that ain't
He
it
keeps
either.
hanging up on me. Answer the phone.
Is this him? That ain't it either. This Bob Initials?
No, it's not, but I would still like to have a chance to talk.
That's me.
All right, you sound cute. Let's talk. What's up? What's your name?
My name's Ariel. And I
Oh, my
just wanna
ex-girlfriend's
preface
name is
this-
Ariel. She broke my heart.
No way.
No, I'm
Oh, I
just playing.
hate that.
My ex-girlfriend name was
Oh.
Ariel, but she was great. She was great. Hi,
I'm
how
glad
you
she
doing,
was
girl?
great.
I'm good.
Awesome.
I just want to preface this by saying that I've been listening so far, and I just want to say that I'm not a Marvel fan whatsoever. I am a DC fan.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily a Snyder fan.
Okay.
But I do enjoy Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is a great film.
I think it is too.
This trailer specifically, things that I did not like, the score, using John Williams' score, I think is a cop-out, really.
Really?
I think that using John Williams' score is using nostalgia to get people to feel some sort of emotion for this film.
Yep.
The special effects, to me, the CGI definitely looks like it needs some work.
True.
Okay.
Still
And
true. I still think
I
that.
just don't know how it's going to fare with the story and everything like that. With James Gunn, I think he is a very talented director. I don't know if he has the skill level that Zach had as far as CGI goes to do Superman justice. And that's my opinion.
Well, let me tell you, Zach is not the one doing the CGI. He had CGI artists doing that. So they would get the credit, not necessarily Zach, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, we're going to pause it
think
right there.
that-
So I get what he's saying, where like they have CGI teams that do these movies, but you cannot take the credit away from Zack Snyder just because he has a team doing his visual effects. Every director has a team that does visual effects or has a studio, a go-to studio that they go to. Also, Zack's films look the same everywhere that he goes. So it's a stylistic choice and it's his style. And you can see it in 300. You see it in The Watchmen. You see it in Man of Steel, which is what we're talking about here. It's not he had a team doing that for him. It's his style. They reflect his style. Yes, he may have a team, but they reflect what he does and his direction on it. Nolan has a team that does his CGI. Spielberg has a team that does his CGI. They reflect their style. So I really don't get that argument. Like it's Zach all the way, but we'll continue.
A director that I have seen, I don't think that there's a director that could do better action than Zack Snyder when it comes to Superman. What I've seen in Man of Steel, that action has yet to be topped. Like epic, sure, I've seen more epic action, but as far as pure action delivered cinematically and looking as riveting as it did, what those fight scenes, that Zod Superman, and then the Zod Feora non-fight scene, that just still can't be F with. So
Right.
It will never be beat. And I do think that the two things necessarily wrong with Man of Steel was, one, Amy Adams as Lois Lane, was not a fan of her. They did not do a good job with the love story when it came to Clark and her.
It was forced.
And it was forced. The chemistry was not there. And, the way that they did Jonathan Kent was not a fan of him, dying in the tornado.
God awful, yeah.
Was not a fan of that either. But I love the story of, Krypton. I love Jor-El. I love that he was able to, you go into a Superman movie thinking that you know the story, thinking that you know the backstory of Krypton, but he still surprises you in those moments. And I think, too, that people, going back to the nostalgia point, that, even with Superman Returns, I hate Superman Returns, and I know you really love it.
Wow, why?
The reason why
you're making sense. I'm starting to believe. Are you a Superman fan?
I am because I love Christopher Reeve. I love Christopher Reeve, Superman, Richard Donner's Superman.
Well, Superman Returns was nothing but Superman 5.
Exactly, Jody. Exactly. That's my point. It was the Force Awakens of Superman. It was
Force Awakens. Oh no, I'm not doing that. That's savage. The Force Awakens, you disrespected. Wait. Superman Returns got all of the beats from 78 Superman right. They didn't get them wrong, so I can't say The Force Awakens because The Force Awakens is dog shit. They didn't even get the Force right in The Force Awakens. Are you saying that Superman Returns didn't pay respectful homage to 78 and you thought it was bad?
There's a difference, Jody. There's a difference, between homage and just straight copying. They took the same real estate story and just made it bigger.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Force Awakens did with the Death Star. It wasn't the Death Star.
Okay, all right. We're gonna pause it. We're gonna stop it right there. I still believe in this point of nostalgia. When it comes to Superman Returns is a beat for beat shot of the Superman movie in 78. Superman Returns is a movie that is supposed to be continuing Christopher Reeves. I'm supposed to believe that this is Christopher Reeves. This is in the same universe, right? Suit's different. The S is so small. The S on the belt, that's different. The story is the exact same. We're not doing anything different. We're just making everything bigger. So instead of Lex, doing the whole real estate thing with the Earth, okay, now he wants to do it in Antarctica with the crystals, and he wants to make an island. He wants to sink Metropolis completely and have his own island or whatever. We're just making it bigger. And that's why I say that this is Superman Returns is the Force Awakens of Superman, because all Force Awakens did was amplify everything that was in an original Star Wars movie. I don't know if it was A New Hope or I think it was A New Hope, with the Death Star, with Luke in Tatooine, and she's in the desert, and, she finds the Millennium Falcon. We see the Millennium Falcon fly, and, it's not the Death Star, it's the Death Planet. Everything is amplified. All the same beats. It's just bigger. I've seen that before. I don't want to see that again. And let's talk about the fact that it's beat for beat, but it's not even as good as the Superman that we know. So I hate Superman Returns. I don't think that it has good moments, obviously, but I don't think it's a good Superman film at all.
Planet.
Right,
So,
but that's a beat. But they still, even if it was a copy, let's say it was a copy, sure,
it was.
That means you would still like it. You would still say,
no,
"Oh, that's kind of cheap. You're copying it. Make something of your own." But I still like it because you're a fan of 78. With The Force Awakens, even though you're right about the Death Star being redone, there was way more things in The Force Awakens that was dog shit that doesn't have anything to do with that. And I can't compare that to Superman Returns. Those are not the same.
They are the same.
Superman Returns definitely has some great moments, like you said, like the plane scene and, certain scene, even with the flight scene with Clark and Lois. I mean,
I'm going to pause it again. I didn't even remember that. I'm so glad I made that point. The flight scene between Clark and Lois. We're redoing it in Superman Returns. Why? We already have seen it.
They copied it bar for bar. Like, it was really just a regurgitation. Even with Kevin Spacey as Lex, it was a regurgitation of Gene Hackman. So
A regurgitation of something that you love.
Gene Hackman
Right?
is better.
Yes, but
So you should still like
that's
it.
not what I go to the movies for, Jody. That's not
Sure.
what I go to the movies for. I go to the movies to see something to see something different, to see somebody take a risk. And I think everybody hates on Zack
okay.
Snyder when it comes to. And I'm not saying I don't like Batman versus Superman. I don't like the Justice League. I love Man of Steel. And Man of Steel should have got its trilogy. It should have gotten, it should have had Chris Nolan stay as a producer, Jonathan Nolan stay as a producer, and we would be having a very different conversation right now.
We would.
Yeah, you know why they didn't. Nolan got out of there because he saw what Snyder did to Superman. Nolan told Snyder, "You're gonna piss people off," and he did it anyway. So of course Nolan left. He said, "I ain't about to be part of this."
He did. And I hope, I am a Superman fan. He's one of my favorite superheroes. I am not a Marvel fan whatsoever, and I think that because Marvel is not doing so well now, they see an opportunity to be able to appeal to those fans. I don't want to see a DC version of a Marvel movie. I don't want to see that.
Do you think that's what this movie
Yes.
is? Do you think that James Gunn's Superman is a DC version of a Marvel movie?
That's what it looks like.
I mean,
Just off the
Okay, so
opening
we're
alone.
going to pause it right there. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. I want everybody to know this about me. I am not a Marvel fan, okay? I want everybody to know that I love DC and I want DC to win, okay? So I'm not trying to talk bad about James Gunn. I'm not trying to talk bad about this Superman movie. I hope I'm wrong about everything that I'm saying. From what I see from the trailer, it's looking like, to me, like a Marvel movie. Like a Marvel film. And you may say, people who are Marvel fans, that's a good thing. To me, that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. Because to me, Marvel has never been good. And I know there's a lot of people that's going to be like, come at me about that. But I don't think Marvel has ever been good. I can count on my hand how many Marvel films I actually really like and think are really good. On my hand. Out of how many? How many? Marvel 30, 40 movies. So it's not a good thing that, this is Marvel. It looks very Marvel to me. It looks Marvel to me by like how the CGI looks, how, and I'm not saying that everything needs to be dark. I'm not saying that everything needs to be Zack Snyder dark and moody and everything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is giving me Marvel feels. This is giving me, a lot of people have said in the comments, this is CW feels. And I think they're right. Now, there are people that think that that's a good thing and that there are people who think that that's a bad thing. And I'm on the spectrum of I think that's a bad thing. I don't think it should look like a TV show. I think it should look like a movie. When I was on TikTok and I was looking at different edits for this movie, all the edits that come on TikTok, I saw a very interesting edit. And it was the Superman trailer and you put the Smallville theme song on top of the trailer. This is what it looks like. It fits perfectly. It fits perfectly. Is that a good thing? Is my question. Is that a good thing?
Ariel, just off the opening alone, we already got blood in the first 5 minutes. Marvel don't do blood.
I know they don't do blood, but
yeah, we got that quick.
I just could not. I just couldn't.
There are rated R. There are rated R Marvel movies that have blood.
So Marvel coded. I don't know, but I will say that having Crypto and I already like the way Lois looks, and I like the way he looks. The suit.
I don't like the suit.
Suit's okay.
I don't really. I like it better now that I've seen the trailer.
It's
but I'm not a
alright.
fan of the suit.
It's okay. It's not a great suit.
The suit could be better.
We'll pause it there. The suit. When it comes to the suit, I'm not a fan of the suit. When we look back at Man of Steel, and I'm always going to go back to Man of Steel because I am defending Man of Steel in this debate because I don't like the hate. Let's talk about the suit. Let's talk about Man of Steel's suit. It is the best suit. I'm sorry, it is. Because he was able to make it look like it was an alien suit, but still resembled the Superman suit. Yes, it could have been saturated a little bit more. We could have gotten the blues a little bit more, the yellows a little bit more. That's a nitpicky issue. but the way that the belt is, the way that, the way the texture is on the suit, just the way that it looks, and how the contrast between that suit and Jarrell's suit and Zod's suit, it was just really well done. And I just want to say too, before I go on, I know that Jody has acknowledged that Man of Steel is a great movie, and that he's not necessarily hating on Man of Steel. I think he's hating on Zack. And I feel like a lot of people do hate on Zack because they don't think that he took DC in the right direction when it came to like BVS and Justice League. Now, I understand the criticism of Zack Snyder didn't understand Superman. Or he did, Man of Steel is a great film, but it's not a great Superman film. I can understand that. I get that. But don't go and hate on it because, now that this new James Gunn movie came out, this Superman movie came out, Man of Steel is garbage. That's not true. It's not true.
I want DC to have their just due. I want them to have their day in the sun. I really do. I just don't want them to think that, this is how we get fans, by making like Marvel decisions when it comes to DC. Because they're totally two different.
I'm having a really hard time with you comparing this to Marvel. Outside of you strike me as an edgy girl, a girl that likes. You said try something different, be bold, take chances. Well, I would argue to the contrary that Snyder did that for 10 years. We got to get back to tradition, and this trailer screams tradition. That's what we need. We don't need no more edgy with Superman. We've had enough of that.
Okay. I mean, having Zack for 10 years and then having to go back to tradition, I would say tradition, I mean, we could take it all the way back to the cartoons, to the 60s and, all that. But if Zack didn't take a chance on Man of Steel and didn't, put Henry Cavill in the role and, all that, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't have an idea of what a non-traditional Superman is, So I'm happy that it happened. I'm happy that we got a different version of a superhero that we all know. I don't understand. I don't get why people want to see the same things over and over and over again. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Why we want to see, we need to get back to traditional. We need to get back to this. We need to get back. I don't want to see things that have been done before. I want to see innovation. I want to see, something taken to the next level. You keep the traditional stuff in there, obviously, but I feel like people are obsessed with nostalgia. And that's why I didn't like the fact that they put the John Williams score in the trailer. You're using nostalgia of the Richard Donner Superman to incite an emotion out of people for that Superman. And it's like going backward. So, and I know people would disagree with me on that. It's just my feelings about nostalgia. I hate when I see these live action remakes of stories that we already know, stories that we've already seen. And when you have an iconic superhero like Superman, where his story upwards, downwards, sideways, every which way, it's refreshing to see a different take on it. And and because he's so beloved, I can see why, that was not really taken into the best, it didn't have the best reaction from fans when it came to Man of Steel. But we'll keep going.
I think that they should definitely try it. I will definitely be in the theater to watch.
Good. Give it a chance.
And I will give it a chance.
I will give it a chance. I will.
I just don't want to see another Richard Donner film.
I'm excited to see it, actually.
I want to see a James Gunn Superman film. And, I think we will see that.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to use the John Williams score anymore. Don't hijack a film that's already made. That is Christopher Reeves. That is Richard Donner's film. I want it to have its own score. And
Exactly. Have its own score. And I'm sure they only use the John Williams score for the teaser, but I don't want any inkling of it in the movie at all.
I have to admit this, Jody, that the fact that Hans Zimmer and Zack Snyder were able to come up with a theme for Superman that rivals John Williams' score,
People did not like this in the chat.
It rivals it.
I wouldn't say Zach and Hans Zimmer. I would just say Hans Zimmer.
Why?
That's
No,
a
okay,
Zimmer.
we're going to pause it. Why don't we want to give Zach credit for anything? Why don't we want to give Zach credit for anything? Okay, so now he's not involved in the music. Now he has nothing to do with it. It's all Hans. It's all Hans. Come on.
Okay. Well, why do you want to?
You try to add Zach to that. I'm not going to let you have that. You said Zach and Hans. No. This is what Hans Zimmer does no matter what director he partners with. That's his thing.
Wait. Does not Zach have to call Hans Zimmer on the phone?
Well,
does he not have to pick up the phone and say, I want Hans to do my Superman film?
Well, the reason why you got Hans Zimmer in Man of Steel and you did not get him in BVS is because Hans Zimmer did that as a courtesy to Christopher Nolan, who did the Dark Knight trilogy just a year prior.
Okay, we're going to pause it there. So that's true. That is very true. The only reason why Hans Zimmer was even a part of Man of Steel was because Nolan had just worked with Hans on The Dark Knight. I totally give that to you. BVS had a good soundtrack too. Okay, let's not sit here and pretend that BVS didn't have a good soundtrack. But also, going back to the point of, well, it wasn't Zach. I mean, again, Zach wasn't a part of the CGI either. Now Zach's not a part of the music either. Come on. Different directors work with different composers. And we always say John Williams and George Lucas, John Williams and Steven Spielberg, Nolan and Hans, So there are soundtracks that Hans has done. I mean, I'm saying that Hans is a fantastic composer. He's one of my favorites. But there are some soundtracks that he's done that, kind of fly under the radar. That are not as iconic as others. Man of Steel is not. He made an iconic theme for Man of Steel. Now, I would say it rivals John Williams. People don't think so. And, there was a comment under Jody's video that said that was a clown comment from me. Well, it's my clown opinion. That's what I think. It's my clown opinion. I think that Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel score rivals John Williams' Superman. And the thing is about with Superman and John Williams' score is that is a version of Superman. Comics change all the time, okay? Superman is just not, one thing. He can be different things. Comics change all the time. We have evil Superman. We have Russian Superman. We have all these different versions of him. And John Williams is, the most iconic, happy-go-lucky Boy Scout Superman. That's great. And then we have the Hans Zimmer, Zack Snyder, Henry Cavill version of Man of Steel, which is also great. We can like both, people. We can like both.
He wouldn't have even got Hans Zimmer. Zach would not have gotten Hans Zimmer if it wasn't for Christopher Nolan.
That's true.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll say that, he had nothing to do with that whatsoever, even though it is his film, his name's on the film, everything like that.
But Nolan was the EP. He was the executive producer.
Okay.
Yeah, he should have stayed.
And I love that. I think that's the reason why Man of Steel is as good as it is. But I think that you have to still give it to that franchise.
Yeah. Man of Steel score is fantastic. I can't. That Man of Steel score is iconic.
Yes, it is. It is.
And like I say, Man of Steel is I'm with you. Man of Steel as a film. I don't think that I can give it an A. I think it has to get an A+ because as a film
I'm so glad that he says
about
that.
a story of an alien coming to Earth and then going through shit, it does it really well, epically.
It does.
But as a Superman film, that's where it falls for me. So I see why you love it.
Well, yeah,
I love
because it's more about him and Krypton and him being an alien, and you really don't get his human side. And this trailer, what James I see he's trying to do is he's trying to appeal to the human side of Clark, and it's bright and it's colorful and it's the complete opposite of what Zach did with Man of Steel. And I don't mind that. I really don't. But I don't know. When I saw what I saw and I heard the score, when I heard John Williams' score, I'm thinking, oh no. Oh no, here we go again.
I just want to go back to what he said about, Man of Steel not being a good Superman film. I think that that's not necessarily true. It is an iteration of Superman. It is a version of Superman. And it is a good Superman film. Is it what we're used to seeing? No. Is it what we're used to reading? No. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. I really don't. I really don't think that just because we have seen it before and just because, I really don't think just because we haven't seen it before and it's something that isn't traditional that it needs to be looked down upon as a Superman film. You know, everybody can say it's a good film, it's just not a good Superman film. I happen to disagree. I don't agree with that. I think we can all acknowledge too that if Chris Nolan did stay on Man of Steel, we all would have loved to see a trilogy, the Man of Steel trilogy, with Nolan still being an AP. So we have to admit, then yeah, that's a Superman that we wanted to see. And Man of Steel never got that chance. Man of Steel never got the chance to be a full-fledged trilogy. And I will have to put the blame on Zack for that, even though I think he's extremely talented and I love his work. And I think nobody can do visual effects like him. I mourn the fact that Chris Nolan left and that didn't oversee the DC universe, because we would have a totally different conversation right now when it comes to DC versus Marvel.
Interesting point. When you first said that, I was like, what is she talking about? But then I'm thinking about it. It's like, you're right. Of course, they utilized John Williams' iconic score in order to bolster and get an effect towards his movie. And I'm glad that he did it, though.
See,
I'm glad.
people,
I know that we're
they're fine
opposite
with
on
that.
that.
And I get that.
see it, identify it as being a cheap way to get us in, but it's welcomed. Because John Williams is Superman as much as anything.
Yes.
So,
yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
When you think Superman, you think that iconic John Williams score, and you think of that whole, thing. But yeah, I am excited to see it. I hope he proves me wrong. I want him. I want James to prove me wrong and to make a beautiful DC Superman film. That's my take.
And I'll take it. I hope that you enjoy the film.
That
Shout
was
out to you
so
for coming
fun.
through and saying how you really feel. Much respect, Ariel.
Thank you so much, Jody.
Have a good night.
So that was my discussion with Jodys Corner about the new Superman trailer. I thought that was a really good discussion. I think that, there's so many different opinions out there. And the reason why I called in to this specific one was because everybody was kind of giving the same opinion. They loved it and I had a different one. So I'm glad I was able to kind of, state my opinion. And Jody did, bring out some great points and everything. And there was so many things that was like running through my mind at the moment that I really couldn't get out. And so I'm glad I was able to watch it back and react to it. So that was the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll be able to put more videos up like this. Definitely subscribe and comment. Let me know your thoughts down below. Bye.